Welcome to Seattle Maritime Works. Hi, I'm Ken Saunderson with the Seattle Propeller Club, and with me today is Robert Brown III, who is the Employer Engagement Program Manager at the Youth Maritime Collaborative at Washington Maritime Blue. Hey, thanks for joining us today, Robert.
Happy to be here, Ken. Thanks for having me.
Hey, Robert, let's start off by having you tell us a little bit about the Youth Maritime Collaborative and what your role is there.
Sure. Well, my role at the Youth Maritime Collaborative is really bringing together different stakeholders, key components such as the Port of Seattle, Seattle Public Schools, Maritime High School, and other really important community-based and maritime-based organizations. And together, we make up the Youth Maritime Collaborative, which is essentially all these entities coming together and talking about new events and happenings and also best solutions to amplify our workforce, specifically towards disadvantaged and overburdened communities. So anything from putting on new events to gaining exposure for students that are looking for maritime careers to catching up and talking about how we can get involved in other programs across Washington State. The Youth Maritime Collaborative is the one-stop shop for all things happening in maritime and workforce development in this sector.
It's really cool to have that one-stop shopping. And, one of the major projects you're involved with Washington Maritime Blue is the Youth Maritime Accelerator Project. Talk about that program. What's it all about, and who are your partners?
Well, I would love to, Ken. Yes, so the Youth Maritime Accelerator Project has been going on for about 4 years now, and it's a 2-month internship that is designed to be a softer feel, lighter touch internship that promotes a positive experience for students 18 through 24 who are looking to gain exposure into the maritime industry. So the internship in itself is broken up into 3 pieces. One is workforce development curriculum that I actually facilitate and run throughout the course of the internship, showing students how to be well-rounded workforce professionals. And this goes from anything towards conflict resolution and problem solving in a workplace to resume and interviewing skills and elevator pitches and collaboration ideas, right? So we really try to boost up our participants and make them the most well-rounded professionals as possible. The second part of the internship is actually getting our candidates into the doors of maritime employers, right? So in the past, this has looked like virtual settings, hybrid settings, or fully in-person settings at different maritime occupations that allow students to actually figure out what it is that they want to go into, and getting a foot in the door is all the better. We like to have this combination run through Monday and Thursday, and then our Fridays are experiential learning days. And our experiential learning days take students out to different maritime fields and field trips. We go to the Youth Maritime Foundation in Tacoma, where students are able to kayak and be at helm of power boats. We partner with Washington State Ferries and allow students to go into the engine room and talk to career professionals in the pilot house. And we also do a lot of teamwork and confidence building interactions between those two. That isn't limited to all of things that we do. We also partner with Tacoma Boat Builders and the Center for Wooden Boats, not to mention many other maritime entities that, again, get students hands-on experience and engaged in real life. And our partners are really great help with this. We've partnered in the past with El Centro de la Raza, with Evergreen Goodwill, and many others that help bring in students that want to figure out, what is the maritime industry? I see boats and I see cargo ships and container ships, but I don't necessarily know how those connect to me or why those are important. And we love to tell students that every time you see a ship or we see a ferry, not only should you think about what's on that ship, you should think about the jobs that come with that, right? And so our goal is really to connect 18 to 24-year-old students that haven't historically been exposed or have access to the maritime industry, and show them how family wage jobs are possible. And this definitely is a collaborative experience and a collaborative effort that we really do rely on our partners to help guide us along with this effort.
Wow, what a terrific project. And these are paid internships, right?
That is correct, Ken. So we also pay for all of the students' time at each employer's company. We really like to focus on the career building experience and training side of the internship. And that component really does its best job when a transaction is taken out of it. So we apply full funding for all of the interns' times at the employer. And again, no cost to any employers who are interested in hosting a young adult, inspiring young youth that has all of the wants to take initiative and wants to learn, but still is looking to gain those skills and experiences.
What a great project. How does a company get involved? And talk a little bit about how you work with them to address issues like management of the interns, the insurance, quick cars, and kind of other administrative aspects, Robert.
Great. Yeah. So I think I can break this down into a few different sections. First, you can get involved by searching us up at www.youthmaritimecollaborative.org, or our housing page, washingtonmaritimeblue.org. You can also contact me at robert@maritimeblue.org, and I'd be happy to show you how to get involved, especially if you are interested in hosting an intern. These internships run about 10 to 16 hours a week, with time at the employer site. And so it's a shorter time commitment, but it really does make a huge difference when we're talking about exposure and access to this population. Any sorts of management questions we always adhere to. We want to guide each intern with the right and proper understanding of what they're going to be faced when they enter a workplace. And so each intern also has community support services to track their progress, to aid support, and to overall prime these interns for success. We also have diversity, equity, inclusion trainings for all of our maritime employers, so they can better understand what it means to host one of our YMAP interns and what it entails, and how to be successful, efficient, and effective hosting these interns. And so we always have community support and peer support available to answer any of those management question needs. And as far as TWIC cards, we actually have funding that supports TWIC cards and our other direct costs, that again allows students to knock down barriers in order to get into the industry, right? Insurance would be on the side of the employer. So we would handle insurance as a normal employee that is onboarded into a specific company. So insurance would be on the side of each employer. But as far as any other administrative aspects, we are here to help. We're here to support. This is by no means a loose leaf intern. This is an intern that has community support, that has been prepped, vetted, and really is looking for those skills and experiences at a maritime entity to build off of and hopefully land a job at the end.
Wow, you really make it easy for a business to get involved in hosting an intern and being a part of this program. Talk a little bit about more about why Washington Maritime Blue set up this program and why it's important for the future of the maritime workforce.
Great question, Ken. Well, it's no secret that the maritime workforce as a whole is facing universal shortages. And there's also not a secret that our youth in the 98118 and the 98108 and other like zip codes are expressing interest in this field, right? And so we have to do a better job of getting students involved and experience positive experiences at that happening in these areas that have not been kind of exposed or have a pipeline that's been created for them. So there's really a need on both sides, right? A need on workforce side and a need on filling these positions. And so Washington Maritime Blue and the Youth Maritime Collaborative have really put together a great needs assessment that shows just how much we are in need of new skilled workers. And I would say the whole objective of this is to connect students of backgrounds that, again, have not been exposed to the industry and get them the skills, the upskillings, the credentials, the qualifications, the courses, trainings that is needed to be a hireable employee at the end of the program. And so we've not only wanted to connect these two sides, but we've wanted to build a pipeline that is continuous and that is stable and sustainable for this generation, but also generations to come. So there's a real need for this on two sides, both supply and demand. And so we're wanting to bridge that gap for the long term.
It really is a win-win for the students as well as for the employers to get involved with this program. Robert, I love your energy and your passion, man. Why are you excited about the future of the maritime industry?
Oh, where do I begin? So there's so many things to be excited about in this industry. One, I think, is the momentum that we've had so far in just a short amount of time. The Youth Maritime Collaborative has been housed in Washington Maritime Blue for just under 4 years. And since then, we've been able to create countless opportunities and ample experiences for a demographic that has not been any that has not been exposed or has really nominal experience in the industry. And I know that if we compound these victories and add more and more maritime champions to this effort, that there's only going to be more and more career placement that comes from this. Again, from students and from young adults that otherwise would have picked a different career path. And so what I think is really exciting and really gets me amped up is seeing that it's possible. We have placed interns into full-time maritime positions that started with nominal experience in the industry. So that shows me that with the time, effort, community, and buy-in from the industry, we are able to make this thing work, right? And it's a great feeling to have, and it's a great motivation to have. But we still have to put the work in. And so I'm really excited about being one of the trailblazers for this effort, and always open to answering any questions or connecting with other key stakeholders that might be interested in adding to this effort.
Wow, what a great story. I really appreciate all your time, energy, and effort. Thanks very much for joining us today, Robert.
Ken, it was a pleasure. Thank you for having me.